The Amish prepare, preserve, and maximize every component using time-tested cooking techniques. They live without refrigerators. These 30 ideas will help you see your kitchen differently and cause you to wish you knew them sooner. Let's explore these really straightforward and successful techniques now. First item: apply a mortar and pestle. The Amish swear by one of the oldest instruments in the kitchen, the mortar and pestle, to extract the greatest tastes out of herbs and spices. The trick is, though, that you must first treat it before beginning grinding. Take some white rice and coarse sea salt, ground them together in the bowl until the mixture flows clear. Then repeat with salt and new rice. This procedure cleans the surface for usage and eliminates any left over. Add a little water to aid to ease the grinding. It's time to work magic once your mortar and pestle are ready. Pressing down consistently, hold the pestle in your dominant hand and move in circles. This traditional approach releases tastes and oils that electronic grinders just cannot equal, so the outcome is fresher, more vivid herbs and spices that will elevate your food. 2 numbers. Examining eggs in water. Wondering whether the eggs you keep in your refrigerator are still fresh? To enable you to solve it in less than a minute, the Amish have a perfect water test. Pour cold water into a bowl, then carefully lay your eggs therein. You will find this here. Fresh eggs will slink to the bottom and lay flat on their sides. Older eggs will start floating or standing straight forward. Why is this happening? An air pocket within aging eggs expands and increases their buoyancy. Here, you only need a basin of water and a keen eye to ensure your meal stays fresh. No expensive tools are needed. 3rd number. Store herbs in water. Try this easy Amish method if you like fresh herbs that remain longer. Approach your herbs like flowers. Like with a bouquet, cut the ends and arrange them in a glass of pure water. Then, to generate a little greenhouse effect, gently cover them with a plastic bag. This maintains the humidity within ideal range to stop withering. Just water every few days and cut any old wilting stems. Particularly in this arrangement, parsley, cilantro, and basil flourish. Not only will you have fresh herbs on hand, but they will also look great on your kitchen counter. 4th numeral. Keep cookies fresh with tissue paper. Exists anything better than freshly made cookies? Perhaps keeping them fresh might help. Tissue paper is the answer to preserving that crunchy texture. Not elaborate containers or costly devices, the Amish know. Tissue paper lines the bottom of an airtight container to help your cookies remain fresh. On top, arrange your cookies in one layer, then put still another layer of tissue paper. Continue the process till your cookies are safely kept. Your goodies keep exactly as crunchy as the day you prepared them. The tissue paper absorbs any extra moisture that may make your cookies mushy and stale. 5. Number 5. Fix cooked coffee. Using salt. We have all experienced that moment when your coffee tastes overblown and harsh. Try this Amish cure, though, before you discard it. Sprinkle a small bit of salt into your coffee. Though unusual at first, it works. Coffee tastes better as the salt helps balance the bitter ingredients in it. Just keep in mind, a little goes a lot. Stir thoroughly to enjoy a great cup of coffee without squandering a drop. For years, the Amish have adopted this trick, which has rescued many gallons of coffee from the drain. Number 6. Marine tough meat with vinegar and broth. Working with a tough cut of beef like brisket or hog shoulder, the Amish have a trick that will make it soft and flavourful. A basic marinade composed of equal parts vinegar and stock. The broth gives taste and moisture. The acidity in the vinegar breaks down the tough meat fibres. Give the meat several hours or overnight in this marinade. Your meat will be very soft and juicy when you're ready to cook. Like giving your flesh a leisurely spa day, the number is 7. Cut onions longwise to cut tears down. The Amish have a method for those who find cutting onions to create watery eyes intolerable. cut your onions longitudinally from root to stem rather than into rounds. This technique preserves the root end whole, therefore limiting the release of tear-inducing molecules. Chill your onion in the refrigerator or root cellar if traditional, before chopping for further protection. This will surely make the entire procedure more tolerable, even if it won't totally stop crying. After all, even onions merit a decent weep once and then. Number 8. Easy egg peeling calls for cold water and salt. Frustratingly difficult are boiled eggs with tough shells that won't come off readily. The Amish, however, have a basic answer: salt and cold water. Start by sprinkling some salt into your heating water. After the eggs are done, move them to a dish of ice-cold water and let them rest for a few minutes. The cold water makes peeling considerably simpler. The salt keeps the shell from clinging to the egg white. Peeling eggs will never cause you trouble once more. 9 is number. Stopping egg cracks and simple peeling. Here's a vital step to avoid cracking before you add your eggs to the saucepan. Transfer them to a dish of cold water and toss with a good teaspoon of salt after they have cooked to ideal. Passed down via Amish cooks, this method works miracles. The salt causes the egg whites to compress somewhat, leaving a little void between the egg and its shell. After a few minutes, softly tap every egg on a firm surface. The shells will almost slide off on their own. This salt technique has double action as well. Add it to your boiling water to stop first-time cracks in the first place. There is no more annoyed marathons for egg peeling. 10 comes first. Don't boil stews and soups. Instead, simmer. Ever wonder why Amish cooks create such mouth-watering soups and stews? They simmer rather than boil, so if you have ever prepared soup, you know the urge to up the heat and get everything boiling quickly. The trouble is that boiling softens meat tender and renders vegetables mush. The Amish want a more subdued technique, maintaining low heat and allowing the flavours to meld gently. Using a ladle, skim any foaming or contaminants that surface. This technique preserves your broth pure and your ingredients soft. It also increases nutrient retention. After a few hours of simmering, you will have a just delicious, rich, savoury stock. The number 11. Put a little of sugar in dishes based on tomatoes. Should your tomato-based meals taste overly acidic, that of spaghetti sauce or chili, the Amish have a basic remedy: a little sugar. It balances the tastes and softens the harshness without making your meal a dessert. Taste as you go, starting with a little pinch. The sugar only balances the tastes. It will not make your dish sweet. Would want to up the ante? Many Amish cooks give the meal a rich, balanced taste by adding a little butter alongside the sugar. Simple, quick, and mouth-watering. The number 12. With bacon grease, fry and season. Bacon grease may be the solution if you have ever wondered why Amish food has such appealing flavour depth. Not chuck that liquid gold after fried bacon. Let it cool. Then pour it into a fresh jar and store it ready for the next meal. Everything from golden brown potatoes to crunchy cooked eggs calls for bacon grease. Trust me, it will take your cornbread to the next level. You can even use it to oil your pan. Little goes a long way and gives everything a smoky, savoury taste that distinguishes it. It's a real Amish cooking gem. Frugal, delicious. 13th number, secret for salad freshness. Wet paper towels. Would you like your salad greens to remain crisp and last longer? The Amish have a brilliant trick: a moist paper towel. Wash and completely dry your salad greens. Then put them in an airtight container and cover with a somewhat moist paper towel. It serves as a sort of little greenhouse, delivering just enough moisture to keep the greens crisp without causing soggy conditions. Change the paper towels every few days and check the container is properly shut. It does miracles for robust plants and delicate lettuce. Like Amish farmers have been doing for decades, this is a basic, natural approach to keep your salad fresh and vivid. Grade 14. Mayonnaise with extra creamy scrambled eggs. Ever wonder why Amish scrambled eggs have such fluffy, creamy texture? Their secret is mayonnaise, not sophisticated tools or costly components. You do really read correctly. Add just a teaspoon of mayonnaise to your beaten eggs before cooking. Though it sounds weird, the fat in the mayo keeps the eggs from drying up, producing a velvety texture that will make you feel as though you're eating clouds for breakfast. The nicest thing about this is it is certain. Add the mayo, beat your eggs as normal, and cook them till the scrambled eggs you have ever had are creamiest. Long before brunch venues began asking $20 for eggs, this method was making Amish mornings more cheerful. 14 is number. For easier egg peeling, add a dash of salt to boiling water. Here's yet another way for cooking eggs that will transform your life. Add some salt to the water once the eggs are boiled. Let them sit for a few minutes before peeling. The salt causes the egg whites to compress somewhat, therefore producing a little void between the shell and the egg. After enough time to cool, lightly tap them on a hard surface to discover the shells almost falling off. You no longer have to battle tough shells. These Amish cooking tips show that often the most basic techniques are the best. Amish cuisine is all about patience, simplicity, and using what you have, from making sure your eggs peel easily to simmering soups for optimal taste. Thing about it is, these techniques still perform just as they did hundreds of years ago. Try these ideas in your own kitchen. You may find yourself producing classic old-fashioned foods. Thank you for watching. Keep tuned for further ideas on cooking like the Amish. 15 is the number. Perfectly scrambled eggs. Want scrambled eggs that make your regular breakfast seem like amateur hour, fluffy and creamy? The Amish know a trick for it. It's simply about adding a tablespoon of mayonnaise before you cook them, not about sophisticated equipment. Cook it how you normally would after mixing it into your beaten eggs. The mayo keeps the eggs from drying up and keeps their extra creamy state. What follows? Breakfast will make you feel as though you are eating clouds from eggs so light and delicate. It's an easy, guaranteed approach to improve your mornings. 16 is sugar instead of flour grease pans. If your cakes or cookies stick to the pan, baking doesn't always follow expectations. The Amish have a charming twist for it though. Try sugar rather than flour dusting your pans. This method produces something miraculous, not just helps to avoid sticking. Using sugar-dusted pans, that sugar becomes a caramelized, crunchy crust. It makes your delights really amazing by adding even another layer of taste and texture. Furthermore, unlike wheat, sugar won't leave a gritty residue behind. For cakes, sweetbreads, and cookies, this method produces a lovely golden finish all around the edges. Thus, oil your pan as normal the next time you are baking, then sprinkle sugar rather of flour on it. Your baking will be completely changed by it. Number 17. Toast the spices to enhance taste. The answer is not just in their herb gardens if you have ever wondered why Amish cuisine tastes so rich and deep. It's in their attitude toward their spices. It makes a world of difference when the Amish roast their spices before sprinkling them on a meal. Heat a dry skillet without oil over medium heat and throw in your spices for about 1 minute or 2. The scent will permeate your kitchen as they warm up, and the vital oils within the spices will come free. Thus, the outcome: deeper, more sophisticated tastes that elevate ordinary meals to something remarkable. Only keep a watch on them. Spices may go from wonderfully toasted to burned really rapidly in only 1 minute. But if you get it perfect, those spices will truly shine. The number 18. Add ice cubes to burger patties for juiciness. Here's a contemporary addition even some Amish cooks have started using. Before frying your burger patties, toss an ice cube inside. This deft trick guarantees that your burgers remain soft and juicy. As you form each patty, press a little ice cube into the middle of every one. The ice melts gradually while they cook, keeping the meat juicy from within. Like having a little sprinkler system in your burger, the nicest thing about it is the ice cube will have melted totally by the time the burger is done, thereby leaving no mess on your grill. It follows a mouth-watering burger that will serenade your taste receptors. Though basic, these Amish cooking techniques have great power. Perfect scrambled eggs, a beautiful caramelized crust on your baked goods, or juicy burgers every time. These techniques will have you cooking like a master. Try these ideas next time you're in the kitchen to appreciate the power of Amish knowledge handed down over decades. It's evidence that occasionally the most basic approaches are the best. The number 19. Keep your burgers juiced with ice cubes. Weary of your burgers turning into those hated hockey pucks at outdoor bars? The answer is basic. Before cooking your burger patties, add an ice cube. Keeping the meat wet and juicy from the inside out, the ice melts slowly while the burger cooks. That produced perfectly cooked burgers, reminiscent of those you would have in a restaurant, remain soft and delicious. The wonderful thing about this hidden weapon is that the ice will melt away without creating any mess. 20. Put pickle juice in potato salad. Want to turn your plain potato salad into amazing? Pickle juice is a brilliant technique the Amish people know. Save that briny excellence for your next batch of potato salad instead of throwing it away after the pickles are gone. Just toss a little pickle juice into your mixture, tasting as you go. The acidic taste provides your salad an additional taste explosion and a zesty brightness to counter the richness of the mayo. Once you try this summer picnic tip, you'll realize why Amish cooks adore it. Number 21. Soak the onions in cold water. Though raw onions can be somewhat strong, soaking them in cold water provides a simple remedy. After cutting your onions, let them spend around 10 minutes quickly dipping themselves in a dish of cold water. This technique pulls away the sulfur molecules that give onions their sharpness, therefore producing gentler, more pleasant tasting onions with still crunch integrity. Perfect for sloshy fresh salsas, sandwiches, or salads. 22nd. Make pie dough using vodka. The holy grail of baking are flaky and soft pie crusts. How thus may one get the ideal crust? The Amish have a brilliant ploy. Substitute vodka for some of the water in your pie crust. Vodka does not activate the gluten in the wheat, which maintains a soft rather than harsh crust. Not worry about your pie tasting like a drink. The alcohol disappears entirely during baking. Just savour the incredibly flaky, buttery layers produced by this easy baking trick. 24. Stir egg yolk into mashed potatoes. Demand mashed potatoes that taste like genuine comfort food. The secret is yolk of an egg. Drop a fresh egg yolk and swirl it in when your potatoes are still boiling hot. The yolk will cook from the potatoes' heat, giving the mashed potatoes a smooth, velvety texture, unmatched by butter alone. The end effect is perfectly creamy mashed potatoes, ideal for any meal. 2024. Stir apple cider vinegar into beans. Add apple cider vinegar to your cooking pot if beans make you feel bloated. It's a basic fix. This Amish secret improves the taste of beans and helps break down the molecules causing pain. Simply add a spoonful or two to the boiling liquid to turn the beans into something quite tasty. The mild tang of the vinegar accentuates the natural tastes without overwhelming them, therefore enhancing the enjoyment of your beans and facilitating digestion. 27. Make perfect pancakes with cast iron. Cast iron might be the reason some pancakes are flawlessly golden with crispy edges, while others fall flat, if you have ever wondered why. Pancakes are made by Amish chefs swearing by their cast iron skylights. Perfect golden crust and fluffy centre are guaranteed by the uniform heat distribution. Just heat your cast iron pan, then drizzle some oil or butter. As such, pancakes with that delicate middle and golden brown exterior that is just delectable. Cast iron also offers a hard-to-equal rustic taste. 26. Fresh fruits and vegetables. Would want to enjoy summer's abundance all year long? A mainstay in Amish homes, home canning guarantees that fresh food keeps over the winter. Fresh food and sterilised jars begin the procedure. Whether you're low-acid veggies like beans or high-acid foods like tomatoes, the secret is to closely follow the correct processing periods. Your home-canned products will survive for months and offer great meals even in the coldest months if you pay a small attention to detail. From wonderfully flaky pies to juicy burgers and creamy mashed potatoes, these Amish cooking secrets show how much difference basic, creative ideas can make. Try these ideas in your own kitchen to appreciate the enchantment of Amish food handed down through the years. It's all about making the most of every item, using what you already have, and transforming regular meals into something spectacular. The number 27. Preserve meat with salt. People had to be inventive with meat preservation before refrigeration transformed food storage. The Amish developed the technique of salt use. Whether it's beef, pig, or chicken, liberally sprinkle meat, including fresh meat, with salt to preserve it. The salt pulls out moisture, therefore depriving an environment free from which for bacterial growth. Salted meats were kept historically in cold, dry cellars or wooden crates. Particularly helpful for making smoked meats and jerky, this technique not only intensifies the flavour and retains the texture of the flesh. Perfected over decades, this approach has shown in Amish kitchens that occasionally the traditional ways are the best. Number 28. Use honey to keep fruit fresh. Honey is a strong natural preservative, not only for your morning tea. Honey will help you cover summer fruit like pears and peaches and seal them in sterile jars at their best. Honey preserves fruit fresh without refrigeration by creating an environment where germs cannot thrive. The juices of the fruit mix with the honey over time to make a wonderful syrup. Long before contemporary canning arrived, Amish kitchens were dominated by this age-old method. It not only keeps the fruit, but also accentuates its sweetness, so you may savour the greatest tastes of summer all year long. Number 29 is ripens tomatoes using brown paper bags. Found a batch of green tomatoes that simply would not ripen. Using a brown paper bag is a basic method the Amish have been keeping gardeners content for decades. Arrange your tomatoes in one layer into the bag, fold over the top and let them set. Still allowing air to flow, the bag retains ethylene gas, the natural ripening hormone emitted by tomatoes. A few days will have you with wonderfully ripe tomatoes. This simple, low-tech approach guarantees you won't waste one tomato and extends the tomato crop far beyond the growing season. 30 here. Keep dough from sticking with oil and flour. Trying to work with sticky dough? For decades, the Amish have had a straightforward solution: flour and oil mixed together. Before kneading, lubricate your hands, then gently sweep your work surface with flour. This approach offers the ideal balance. Flour protects the dough from adhering to the surface, and the oil makes handling simple without the dough clinging to your hands easily. This tip maintains the procedure seamless and stress-free, whether you are preparing bread, pie crust, or pizza dough. Number 31. Save onion skins for a broth recipe. Think carefully before stuffing those papery onion peels into the compost. Rich, savoury broths made from onion peels will give soups, stews, and gravies complexity. Nothing is thrown in Amish kitchens. Just gather the onion skins in addition to other vegetable wastes and save them in a container. Simmer your leftovers for hours while making broth to see the liquid turn into a golden, flavourful foundation. Stretching your components this way will produce a soup rich with taste and colour. 32. Hence, soak rice before cooking. Demand flawless, fluffy rice every time. The Amish have a trick. Soak your rice 30 minutes to an hour before cooking. This pre-cooking process helps eliminate extra starch, which can make rice sticky or clumpy, thereby enabling the rice to cook more uniformly and lowering cooking time. Consider it as your rice's equivalent of a spa treatment so that every grain realizes its best. This basic step will make all the difference whether you're presenting rice as a side dish or the basis for a major entree. 33. For a cough, honey and apple cider vinegar. Amish people have used honey and apple cider vinegar for years to help with a chronic cough. Mix 1 tablespoon each of honey and apple cider vinegar into warm water to create this time-tested cure, which is straightforward yet potent. While the apple cider vinegar helps balance your pH and thin up mucus, the honey is a natural antibacterial agent that coats and calms your sore throat. Sip this mixture gradually during the day to ease coughing and benefit from its natural therapeutic qualities. These ageless Amish cooking techniques show that frequently the finest outcomes come from simplicity. From curing meats to ripening tomatoes to creating the ideal broth, the Amish have perfected the craft of turning everyday foods into remarkable cuisine. Try these ideas in your own kitchen to quickly see why they have endured throughout time. It's about appreciating the cycles of nature and making the most of what you have to produce food that is both nutritious and bursting with taste.